2 Samuel 12:13 says, And David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. And Nathan said unto David, The Lord hath also put away thy sin, thou shalt not die. We see David come full circle here. He allowed his slothfulness to put him on the roof that one summer night. He allowed that stubbornness to lead to the murder of Uriah and the months and months of hiding from God. The scars of his life were going to be put on full display as a warning for us all. But here we see David begin the process of restoration. Note that David took responsibility for his actions. He said, I have sinned against the Lord. Folks, you have to come to that realization. It is not enough for a man of God to stand behind a pulpit and preach to you. It is not enough for your friends or your parents or your co-workers or your children to inform you. Your standing with God is your responsibility to acknowledge and maintain. Some people get all bent out of shape because they feel like the preacher is coming down hard on them, or some other godly person in their life is getting on their case. They were resistant to the process of restoration because of it. I've seen it in my own life. There are people who've heard me preach, they've walked out the doors and never came back because of it. And I've had the same attitude myself in the past. There have been times in my life where God has put a Nathan in place to tell me something and I haven't wanted to hear it. And friend, you have to take that up with God. He's the one you really have a problem with. He's the one you need to be talking about in order to fix it. David, you see, he took it in stride. And we do well to follow his example today. We would do well to ask for forgiveness from the Lord and begin that process of restoration. Swallow our pride and take it on the chin instead of sitting and rotting in the filth of sin. What's stopping you today? What is stopping you from doing as David did and just admitting your sin? You know what happens when you do? When you admit your sin to God, when you acknowledge you have done wrong, you ask for forgiveness. Do you know what the Lord does? He forgives you completely, wholly. Do not misunderstand me.